Explore new and simple ways to represent information and make any kind of graphics quick. And that's precisely what we are going to do here today. Below this, there is some projects that I'm going to talk today about it. And finally, some events important for the project. We was published for the Gestalten book about visual storytelling, and hopefully we're going to be at the next Visualize in New York next year in February. It was a Visualize in Europe a few days ago. Do you know? It's a special event focused in visualization. It was in Berlin. I think the 5th of October. 3 days ago. Okay. This is the one. Okay. Okay. So we are here, I guess, to talk about visualization, right? Info visualization. But we are going to talk about a particular kind of visualization, that is handmade visualization. First of all, to start to talk about visualization, we start to talk about people. This is a person, and it looks quite confused, right? Where am I? He's asking by himself. Yes, he's asking that. Who am I? Where am I? What are they doing? And what is my role here? This confused person are all of us. And this person is confused because we're living today in a very difficult world, right? At the beginning, okay, for the last 20 years, the world has become more complicated. And this is for 3 reasons. If you have read about visualization, you know these are the 3 biggest reasons. The first one is more information. Yes, there are more information in the world. This is a very important thing to say. The second one, the access. You can access to more information more easily about or using, for example, a digital technology, or using your cell phones or internet, for example, was a big change in this access. And the third one is the complexity of information. Yes? The information is more complex right now. And that's the reason this particular person that represents us, needs answers. Sometimes they know even who they are, or where they are. What is our role right here, right now? Thinking about Syria, for example, the war on Syria. We're not doing anything. Should we? I don't know. What can we do? Yes? This is all the question that this person that represents us are doing it right now. And we want to this person arrives to this place, the understanding place, right? And what can we do? Our answer, I don't know, who are visualizers here? All of us? Yeah, all of us are visualizers. What are your professions? I'm a designer. What's your profession?
A designer.
Designer. Who are designers here? I am a designer. Okay. Who are journalists here? Who are developers? Okay, developer. And what are your professions? I don't know. Lawyers? Maybe? What is going on here? What is your profession?
I'm a student.
A student of what?
Andragogy. Adult education.
Okay. Usually, people interested in the visualized field are of these other fields, right? Data strategies, because visualization is about data, and right now it's about big data. See, confusing data, very complex data. Artists, because they would like to stay in every field, I guess. Developers, why developers like visualization?
Because we work with a lot of data.
Okay, yeah, that's the reason, Designers, because we work with people, show them things, I guess. And journalists, because journalists are trying to show them the reality, what is going on in the world, right? So there are the reasons. And these people found an interesting way to explain them what is going on, to help them to answer these questions here. These questions here, right? And this way we found to do it is visualization. Information visualization, of course. But there's a problem. And this is the problem. We're trying to help these people to understand the reality with this kind of visualization. Do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe someone, the experts here that make that kind of visualizations understand it. But I make a proof. I call my mom. My mom is a 50-year-old lady. No, 50-year-old. and I asked her, please tell me what is going on here. And she didn't understand. I didn't understand too. Help them to understand, right? This is the question I wrote here, because it's kind of a joke. Try to explain things like in this way. It's very difficult. Not for all the people, but I think 80% people don't understand this. I came from a country that, I'm from Colombia, right? I came from a country where only the 80% people, only the 20% people have access to internet. And this is a problem because this kind of visualizations requires an advanced ability to understand. They are doing that. We are doing that. I used to do that. I was a developer too. I like programming in processing. I don't know if you know processing. Yeah. But I didn't anymore. And this is the reason particularly. I found only the 20% of people understand what I'm doing. So what was my impact? It wasn't. I have an impact in the world. So let's talk about visualization right now. What is visualization? Anybody knows what is visualization? I want to hear voices. Very quiet. I insist. What visualization is? What is visualization? Don't know? Okay, I'm going to tell what is visualization. Visualization is teenagers talking about sex. It will be teenagers talking about sex. Visualization is an elephant. And visualization is a hammer. Which do you think is the correct answer for what visualization is?
Everything.
Everything? Who says everything?
It depends what you need to communicate or what's the message.
Okay.
Or who's the audience?
It could be a problem. Visualization is everything. Okay, this is an easy answer.
Yes, well, what's the question?
Okay. But yes, it's everything. Teenagers talking about sex. Why? What do you think visualization could be? Teenagers talking about sex. I couldn't find a teenager picture, so I drew a sticky person with acne. For me, this is the teenage age. Why? why visualization could be teenagers talking about sex. You want to talk, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So why?
Why? What do you think?
It still depends on the question. What do you? Okay. So why you use this way to communicate via this?
Okay.
What does it mean? Teenage boy. What is question for? It means teenagers talking about sex. Who is talking about sex? For example, question is. And you want to answer somebody who are
Okay.
talking about sex. So this is the one of particular answers.
Okay. I'm going to answer that question. I think visualization right now could be defined as teenagers talking about sex because people say they are doing it, but they are not doing it, right? And people that are doing it wrong. So thinking in visualization, people say they are doing visualizations, good visualization, but they are not doing it. These are the kind of visualization they are doing, right? So people who are doing it wrong, right? Like we can see it here. This is the first definition I have to visualization. The second one is visualization is an elephant. This is very interesting. I don't know if you have read the book Beautiful Visualization. The last chapter of this book is called Visualization in Depth, written by Jessica Hagi. Have you heard about her? She's a beautiful woman, first of all. And second of all, she's very good doing visualizations. Yeah, simple visualization. He used only a pencil and a piece of paper, and that's it. And she used this to describe what is visualization, to define it. She used this particular mental image. This is a tale. I don't know if you have heard, but the tale is about three blind people that are trying to define what an elephant is, just touching it, right? But the first person touched the leg and described the leg, and he thought visualization is that. Sorry, he thought an elephant is that. The second person touched her nose, the nose, and described it and thought the elephant is the nose, has the form of the nose, the shape of the nose. And the third blind person touched the back and describing it again and again and again. We can have 20 hands here touching the elephant. It's not fair with the elephant, for example. But the point is, this is what we have in right now with visualization. The elephant is the visualization. All of us are talking about visualization. All of us are touching this elephant. Artists are touching the leg. Journalists are touching the back. Scientists the nose. Right? We're all touching the same thing, but we can't define it. Yes? It is visualization has exploded, I think, the last 10 years. Yes? It's very difficult to define this field. My postgraduate, it's right, this word, postgraduate, is in communication. And for communicators, it's very difficult to define where we are. For example, sometimes someone says, we become from anthropologists, and this is our field, anthropologist. And then someone says, no, it's not anthropology, it's socionomics, for example. social studies, for example, cultural studies. It's very difficult to define where the communication is as a field. I think the same, and I think with the visualization is the same thing. What do you think about it? Okay. You don't think about it? Okay. And the third definition is visualization is a hammer. This is a very interesting one, because a hammer is nothing by itself, right? You need a hammer to do something. You need a hammer to make a house, for example. But you can make anything with the hammer by itself. Nothing. It's a tool. The same thing is with visualization. Visualization by itself is nothing. You have a purpose for this tool. You have to need a project in your mind to use this tool. So it's not a good idea to start to study visualization or study the visualization field, reading books or something like that, if you don't have a project in your mind. What do you want to do? Do you want to change the world? It will be possible if you plan it, of course. You can generate a small impact that can resonate in the world. I think I'm trying to do that, and this is the reason why I'm here right now, I guess. I didn't expect to come back to Slovakia. Slovakia? No, it's the pronunciation. I know I'm in Slovakia. I'm not drunk, but the pronunciation is okay, right? Slovakia. Yeah. So we want to take this person to here, from here to there, and we're going to use visualization. Or we are using visualization, and we call it visualized information. Visualized information, right? This is what we're saying right now. When we talk about visualization, we say we are visualizing information. Is it right? No, this isn't right. Why? I prefer this term. I prefer making information visible. This is a completely change of the concept. Change visualize information to making information visible, and we are not just trying to that people understand. We want in this particular definition, we want to mobilize. We want that people do things. Right? It's not enough to understand things. You have to make people doing things. Acting, it's a very interesting word to work with. So, this is the phrase, I guess, resume this small lecture. It's not about visualize information, it's about making information visible. What does it mean? Who tell me what does it mean? So can tell me. Okay.
The audience can see the information, okay, so they can understand it
Okay.
better or that.
Yeah, it's something like that. See this. We are focusing if you use this definition, visualize information. Visualize information. We are. Could you help me with the picture, please? I'm registering all the workshops here in Europe. I'm going to load up to the webpage. So if you use this definition, visualize information, we are focusing the concept of visualization into technology. We're focusing in the computer, Yes, I am visualizing information. What does it mean? I'm using a computer to visualize, right? The action is in visualization, in visualizing, right? And I think this is wrong, because the action should be in people. So if you change the definition to making information visible, we are talking about the audience. We are talking about the people who are going to receive the information and the people that are going to act, right? I always say in here as an example that focus the concept of visualization in technology. First of all, only experts can use it to visualize, and that's not true. I'm not an expert in visualization, and I don't know if you are, but it's not necessary to be an expert in visualization to visualize information, see, to make it visible. Many journalists can't use a computer or use processing or some programs to visualization, but they can make information visible, and they are making there an exercise of visualization. The example I say here always is concentrate the concept in visualizing information is like says that that to make a good presentation you must use PowerPoint, and this is not true, right? If you say that, you say the only way to make a good presentation is using PowerPoint. But you can't make a good presentation without PowerPoint, right? Right? Yeah? You can make a good presentation with drawings or, I don't know, or with Prezi or a program, I guess. Okay. So this is not necessary. This is not necessary right now. This is a fallacy, a felony, that visualization is only for experts, and that you have to you have to know how programming to make a good visualization. That's not true, and we are going to make here some visualization, simple visualizations that explains that point better. This is me and my mom, and I want to make visualizations not just for experts. I want to make visualizations for people like my mom, 55 years old lady that don't watch much TV, for example, don't use internet, never. Who is this cell phone? It's ringing. Yeah. But she walks all days from the house to the store. What can we do there? What can we do on the streets for people? Can we make visualizations on the streets? Yeah. Have you seen examples? I'm going to show you some examples here that I've been working on. Okay, can you make data visualizations with a shoestring? Yeah. Yeah, this is possible. This is possible. This was a question 2 years ago asked me a magazine in France, and I say yeah. And the journalist was completely surprised. I made a graphic in the same moment. It was a great experience. And can you make data visualizations with an IKEA box?
No.
No? Yes, we can. There is a very famous example of that. I don't know if you have seen it. I would like to see it right now. It's a TED Talk that Hans Rosling made, I think, 3 years ago. Do you know who is Hans Rosling? Okay, he is an expert of the future. He talks about the future, and he talks about very complex themes, as population, for example, as urbanization, as the food in the future and things like that. He thinks all the time in this kind of information. Can we make data visualization with IKEA boxes? Yeah. And I wanted to you see the last part of the talk, because at the end he starts to talk about this is a very complex issue. We can see it there because he's using boxes, right? So we think, okay, this must be easy to explain because he's using boxes, but that's not true. This is a very complex issue. And later he used a very sophisticated program in computer to explain 5 things at the same time. This is very interesting. I would like to see it later. Okay, this is Hans rolling world population, the video you have seen. And okay, let's start to talk about this particular project, the handmade visualization toolkit. Remember the hashtag. This tag we see before inspires me to make. I have been working in this for I think 3 years, but this particular talk was very inspiring for me because I thought it wasn't necessary to make a great experience, to generate a great experience and to make a good visualization use a computer. Yes, it was clear there. So I, inspired by him, I decided to make a kit with simple elements that you can find in any store, because it's not important what elements you use, for people who wants to make a visualization, a simple visualization, who wants to say something. This was the first version of this project. We have wood sticks here, we have points, adhesive points, we have globes. How do you say globes?
Balloons.
Globes? Globes?
Balloons.
Balloons? Okay, we call them globes in Spanish, or bombas in Spanish.
That's after you put water in.
Yeah. This is the first project I made with this kit. It was, I think, a very famous project. This was published in many books and blogs in internet. It was internet visualized. I take a very simple issue and that I can access to the data very easily. Internet is one of these topics. This is one of the visualizations I made with the kit. It was simple data, 2 data there, represented with 2 balloons. This is users of internet in 2000, and this is users of internet in 2010. I took the pictures in the botanic garden in my city because I thought it was important for the dramatic essence of the picture. Of course, if I have taken these photos in my bedroom, for example, but my bedroom is very nice. Now, if I take these photos in my kitchen, I suppose the photos have been resolved as good as they are. This is the second graphic. I use tape, and it took me, I think, like 10 minutes, no more like that. And this is the internet growth, year by year. This is other simple graphic, of course, that I made with the sticky, the wood stick. it shows compares the Twitter accounts, the followers of many people in the world. This is just a part of the graphic, and it seems that like Lady Gaga has more followers than Barack Obama. It was 2010, but I can't imagine that it seems the same today. And 10 times more than Newsweek, right? Funny world we're living in. This is the common domains compared. So we have the .com domain is the bigger one, and the org domain is small one. We have many other domains today, right? This is internet by country, users of internet by country. And this is a comparison between all the mails we receive all time and the mails we really want to receive. The rest of it is spam. So this was the first project I made with the Handmade Visualization Toolkit version 1. This is the second version. This was our project that I made 2 years ago. Because I thought, okay, this is important and it become a huge success for internet, so we can, people share these pictures in their Facebooks and their Twitters accounts or something like that. But I wanted to take the information to the streets, because as I told you, in my country only 20% of people have internet. So I see the opportunity to work in the streets, as I thought it was better, it has more impact for people. So I started to work in this project, Information Bar, City Data Intervention, based in a book that wrote other Colombian, he's a social expert, I guess. She studies semiotics too, things like that, philosophy, for example. He wrote a very interesting book. I don't know if you have heard, because it's a huge project that he calls, in this case, Bogotá Imaginada, something like the imagined city. Have you heard about imaginaries? Right? Right? Yeah. This is a concept that he developed for years. The city imagined. How is different, how the city is, the reality of the city, and how we think about it. For example, in Colombia, there is a big canyon between how people feels the city, if it is dangerous or not, and the reality. Bogotá is not a dangerous city. It's like every other city in South America or even in Europe. It's not a dangerous city. But the perception of people in Bogotá, I don't know if here you perceive the same thing, but people think that Bogotá is a very dangerous city. And this is not true. So he starts to think about it and asking people, how do you feel about your cities? How do you imagine your city? And start to ask questions as, for example, very interesting questions. What color is your city? What color is? If I ask, what color is Cochise? What do you ask? What do you answer? What?
Yellow.
Yellow? Cochise is yellow? Why?
Because most of the buildings are yellow.
Okay, this is a very interesting perception. All of you think the same? Cochise is yellow? I saw Cochise very gray. I have been here for 40 minutes, I guess, but My perception is Cochise is a great city.
Every time it's okay, it's very
Okay. Who thinks Cochise is great? I think Cochise is great. Who thinks Cochise is yellow? Okay. See what is happening here. And this is the reason why this project was a huge success. They start to find that we are living different cities at the same time. We are living the city that we imagine. This was one question, one very interesting question. Other question was, for example, what is the city? What is the street in your city that smells good for you? What do you think? What is the street that with better smells in Cochise?
It's Bella Street because there is one really huge cake shop.
Okay, very interesting. That is for you because you know that shop and probably you visit every week or something like that.
Like 1/3 of the street is the shop.
Okay.
So it's almost whole sweet street,
Okay.
and it's not so sweet.
He started to ask these questions for smells, for colors, and he started to make a map of the city. Very interesting. I took some of the founds he made, and I started to make these graphics. Okay, he made this project not just in Colombia. He made this project in all the capital cities in South America. So he made them the same project in Buenos Aires, for example, in Quito, in Lima, in Santiago de Chile. See? Right? This is how it looks, this graphic on the street. This is a typical Bogota street. I swear this is not dangerous city, but it seems dangerous, I guess, for the graffiti thing right now. And pedestrians walk for this particular street all the time. And I start to notice that people stop and see the graphic and start to discuss with each other, right? And it was a beautiful experience that they have the opportunity to start to discuss these kind of topics that they usually don't discuss because they don't read books like that. And they start to see here each bar represents one city, right? Like that. Each bar represents one city. Buenos Aires, Barcelona, Bogota. Barcelona is because the study was made in Barcelona too. The only city in Europe, right? Yes. Caracas, La Paz, Lima, Mexico, Montevideo, and this was the number of people that see the city in this color. So I put here the most people see in determinate color. For example, for people that lives in Buenos Aires, 47% see the city green. This is interesting. In Bogota, for example, Bogota is a very gray city. And it seems like that in this graphic. Caracas, I thought in my imagination Caracas is even more gray than Bogota, but for people that lives in Caracas, it wasn't true. So people when walk in front of this graphic starts to talk about it is true. It is true. How do I see my city? And this kind of conversation starts with this simple graphic. This is me making the graphic. I use a piece of paper, as simple as that. I don't like to use sprays or something like that. I usually use chalks or paper that is removable because I don't like to mark the city in this way. I have an experience, a bad experience with marking the city. I'm going to tell you right now this experience. Have you made graffitis? Have you ever made graffitis?
Yes.
Okay. 1 year ago, a group of people, including me, starts to think about to make a website where you can see where people was robbed. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So when someone was robbed, we put a point in the map of the city, right? Then we start to talk. Okay, it could be analog. Can we go to this point, to this particular point, and paint a point in the street? We can do it, and we did it. We go to, not in all the city, but we start to a very important neighborhood in Bogota that is called Chapinero. We start to paint points, red points on the street. Each point represents a place where a person was robbed, right? And we thought it was cool, right? Because it was cool. As a project, it was very, very cool. But with the project came social problems that we can't imagine before. We couldn't imagine. For example, if we paint a point next to a store and people see that point, they prefer don't enter to that store. So stores start closing in all Chapinero. It was a bad idea, right? This is our example. This is my house, by the way.